This meeting is being recorded. Hello everyone. Today we're going to do the final orientation of ISDL. So jumping directly to the finals theme. That's the most important thing. You will not be tell the topic. Topic will be till only few hours prior before the tournament. You will have the tossing over there. So the theme this time going to be artificial intelligence for both the category, 7 to 9 and the 10 to 12th. This is for the junior category. Now your match going to be on the 26th. Exact schedule we will share. So first is going to be 7 to 9th from 6:30. So at 6:30 we will have bit of introduction ceremony. So all of you need to join at 6:30 to 6:50, 6:45. From there onwards, from 6:45, the junior 7 to 9th match will start. Goes from 6:45 till 7:15, 7:30. Then we will ask the second team 10 to 12 to join, and then the final will be of the junior most category. The criteria remains the same: matter, manner, method. uh, Now for your category there are bigger changes. Now this time for 7 to 9, I'm just focusing first on the 7 to 9 category. We are increasing your time from 3 minutes to 5 minutes. Now it's final. You have more time to speak, more time to add more constructive point and goes the destruction. Also, you will have point of information. So if someone is speaking, you can virtually raise your hand and say that you want to have a point of information. Now, if I'm the speaker, within my speech, there is an idea of restricted time, or we call it protected speech in the first minute and the last minute. So we don't want interruption to happen at that point of time. So between say after first minute until fourth minute, you have these 3 minutes to ask POIs. Now, on the other hand, who is taking the POI? So, for example, if I'm the speaker, you are raising the POI, I'm the one who taking the POIs. Now, it's my discretion to take them or not. But at the same time, we have some pointers for the POIs. So, we expect if our opponent are asking 2 to 3 POIs, as opponent, you should ask at least 2 to 3 POIs. At least one you should consider. So, you decide when you want to consider, because you should not interrupt your flow, but at the same time, POIs increase the engagement of a debate, and that's the purpose of POI. So you looking for some sort of clarification. You identify something which is not factually wrong, so you identify that. That's the part of POIs. Otherwise, everything remains the same. There is no reply speech in your category 7 to 9. It's the same as modified Asian parliamentary. 3 speakers from both the side, each speaker with 5 minutes, with POIs allowed in the second to fourth minute, the 3 minute of duration. Is that clear to 7 to 9? Anything on it? Because that's the major difference.
Yeah, just one doubt. Like usually WSDC, if the speaker is asking the question exceeds 15 seconds, the speaker who's giving the speech can stop them. So that's the same over here, right?
Yes. So POI is still looking within the POI. The idea of POI is not a speech, correct? If you are raising a POI, it's not that you have to give a speech. 15 seconds are the sufficient time. Yeah.
Yeah, and also that there's that rule that you cannot repeatedly ask for POIs. If one POI has been denied, then you have to wait for 15 seconds to ask the other one. That's right?
Yes. So for example, as I mentioned, that opposition, look, they can raise multiple, but the idea is that they will ask 2 to 3 POIs. Now, if you're the one who's speaking, the speaker takes one POI, then supposedly even 5 minutes is not a good, lot of period of time. In WSDC, you have 7 minutes. Now, so you have idea of even entertaining 2 POIs. Over here, you can at max only entertain one POI. So we are looking that a speaker will able to entertain only one POI. So if you get answer to one, you will not have sufficient time. So you can ask second one, but it will interrupt the flow of the speaker. So that second is going to be function of it's going to be the function of speaker, but one is a minimum. On top of that, going to be your equilibrium, your understanding.
Yeah, and that wasn't exactly my question. My question was that, for example, I'm from side for opposition, and the props for speaker is giving a speech. I asked for a POI, but the speaker denies it. I repeatedly keep asking for the POI, and the speaker is getting interrupted repeatedly. So that there's the rule, right, that you have to wait for 15 or 30 seconds to ask for another POI.
So you wait for 30 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, so like even after it gets rejected, you have to keep waiting because you cannot continuously ask for POIs.
Yeah,
That's
the idea is that if I've rejected you immediately, the reason I'm rejecting someone's POI is because I don't want to interrupt my flow. So I want to wait and I want to finish and at least my one point entirely. Then I want to come and take you. So as a speaker, you plan when you want to take POIs. You will not look your, obviously you have to see that are there POIs, but at the same time, it's both ways. So if I'm the speaker, first I will cover a few points, then I will come and look at is there POIs or not. So I will have some waiting points, maybe after 2 minutes, or it can be the function of I will deliver these points, then I will look is there a POI. So if someone saying that I'm not going to take POI, that means they're going to go for more 15-second, 20-second to finish that part. So if you ask, deny someone, you are totally correct. Wait for 30 seconds more and then ask.
perfect. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any question? If not, then we go to the final category.
Just one second,
10 to
Kapil. I just want you all to be comfortable. Just on the 7th to 9th graders, if you haven't done this format, it's a nice time to ask this. So let's just give them a minute. Everybody else otherwise is comfortable with the concept of a POI, how to prepare for it.
So to ask for a POI, we just have to raise our hand.
Yeah, virtually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's so no POIs on the chat box. Raise your hand. We'll call them upon. Riya, Shivanshi, we're going to ask something.
Oh, yes, ma'am. So we could ask any kind of question in a POI, right? To the other team in the debate.
Yeah. So within the POI, the idea of is either you have some sort of says that look, you are saying that's not true. There is some sort of clarity needed. You are trying to refute their argument, but the span which you can ask the question is just 15 seconds.
Yes, sir. So, but we can like ask a question that refutes their argument, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Any other question, team? We can take it slow. We are a small group over here. Otherwise, Kamal, I was just thinking aloud. There was a session when somebody had taken and as to how to ask a good POI. So I do want you all to go back to the original link of, or you all have a YouTube channel access. Just go and see the master classes that were done. If not in this session, then the previous ideal on what is a good way to do rebuttal. So some of the ones that come to my mind are Calix session. That was some of those sessions are very good. So go back to the YouTube videos, I think, which were in September as well, right? On the master classes. So that's something that I do want to share. Kamal, anything else from a preparation standpoint on this one?
So I guess especially the speech part, obviously we are not doing training over here, but I guess it's not just for one student. I guess we have seen it multiple, and this time it's likely to happen that the last speaker goes on to add a lot of points.
Yeah.
That's not if, correct, because the point of debating is that you have to give your opponent chance to refute your arguments to the rebuttal. You're not making claims which should not be contested. The idea of that there should be contest on your argument, that shows that you are raising a valid point. If you are the last speaker from your side and then you are raising a new argument, then no one can refute that because you're the last speaker. So try to stay away from that because that's not serve purpose, and it's also hard for the adjudicator. You are raising points, so that's why the team coordination plays a central role. We have seen some good debaters but not able to come till here because they were doing isolated speeches. That's not the way around for the finals. We want to have a quality debate in the finals, so you should be preparing together and play your as I guess also the case with the second speaker, that you also iterating upon and making flow with the first speaker of your team. So it should be a team game. That's the most important and will be good to see that kind of debate happening in the finals. So you are
Yeah.
cohesively working over there.
Cohesion works. One more thing that I'm just giving some blackboard observation when I saw. Sorry, Adisha, you have a question. Why don't you go ahead first?
Okay, so if I raise a new point as a rebuttal to the argument, and this point hasn't been mentioned in the first or second speech, will that hinder the performance?
Look, so now what you're saying when you are refuting someone, then you are giving an alternative. Is that what you said?
Yes, it's a new
So
point though.
uh, again, so the idea is that if you are doing a rebuttal to someone, so you are saying that's not correct and whatever, like it's goes on to why it's not correct, that's okay. But the point is, if it's seen as adding new point as a constructive point and not related to your opponent speakers and also not related to your earlier speakers, then it's a new point. If you're making a case basis the earlier observation is very much okay.
Okay, got it.
Got it. So, Sneh, you were asking.
Yeah, just for my personal clarification. So basically, out of the third speaker, you want evolution of arguments, and
Yeah.
you
So,
want.
to be honest, look, let me give very specific example. I guess tomorrow's your debate. It was between Team Delhi and Team Uttar Pradesh. The idea was about like, is it going to be private companies who are going to be making eco-friendly space tourism or something around space? The idea is that you guys focus just on two ideas from the both the side. The team speaking for the motion was focusing on the ideas that they are more innovative, so they will do everything. They are the leader, whatever. And the team opposition was saying no, they do not have incentive to do that. That's the idea. Now I've not seen it, but if I were the speaker on that side, I would contest the team opposition, Team Delhi. If I'm the team Uttar Pradesh, that's not the way. If people are much more consumer centered, they are ecologically oriented, then that will create an incentive for private companies, because private company is not just about the profit. Also, the matter is the public perception, because public eventually will pay the money. So that's, if I refute your claim that you are making about economic prosperity and they work only for profit, in counterclaim to your argument, that's totally a valid point for me as a third speaker of the team proposition to make.
Is that clear, Sneh? And everybody on
Yeah.
the
Yeah, but like further analysis over this, because I just want to do further analysis over this. So, somewhat in my third speech, I did, give this analogy that these private companies won't do this to come into good light because they have these products to sell, and that the market won't be getting created because now the prices are going higher and they won't be able to sell space tourism or sell satellite as they really want to earlier. So, this was kind of a new argument, and I do understand why this shouldn't have come into the third speaker's speech. But can it be categorized as an evolution of a second argument that probably we're just trying to tell you why further incentives don't exist?
Look, currently I'm not able to recall the second speaker's speech, so it's very hard to pinpoint and
Yeah,
say
his
is it
argument was
making sense or not.
basically
But
Can
the
his
idea
argument
is,
was basically
yeah,
candidates don't have
but the idea is
incentives.
that it's look, a lot of it is a subjective line, but at the same time you can draw upon what your point was saying, and you here you are elaborating within that. So the primary argument remained the same. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
Can
perfect.
I
It's
also just
evolution, not new.
can I just also mention one thing that I observed between the teams was the fact that you have to be clear in what you're speaking. Just because this bell has gone doesn't mean you start rattling it off faster. So so typically we've seen how this gets done well is that when the second bell goes, just say in summarization and finish it rather than saying, okay, no, I'm going so fast like a Rajdhani Express that nothing is heard by anybody. Don't do that. So don't increase your pace of speaking just because that bell has gone off, right? So always know, okay, if the bell goes off, or rather I would say, typically you always know the thumb rule always is 1 word, 1 second, right? So if I'm going to write a 5 minute speech to prepare myself, then I sort of know how many words that should be, 300 words or so, or maybe 1 2 words. So just pace that a little for all yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Kamal. So if we can
No,
move
no,
next.
it's the same thing. Look, adjudicators are also humans. They are not AI engine setting out. So you need to be audible, correct?
Yeah,
They need to understand your speech. Then only they can give the verdict easily.
yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, they will miss out the part that you're speaking for.
Correct. And they will listen. So all of you are being evaluated and heard very clearly. You saw that in the feedback, right? It is on technique, it is on the point. So be clear on it. Okay, Kamal, yes, let's go.
Let's
Next.
go to the final category, which is 10 to 12. And over there, bit of addition from the earlier one. A, you have reply speeches. So after 3 versus 3 regular debate, then again the opposition will do that. So opposition will go for the first reply speech. You look at this thing if you are not clear. After the last speaker, the third speaker from team opposition goes, then again the opposition will do a reply speech. Now this time, obviously, it can't be the third speaker himself. It either need to be the first speaker or the second speaker. You can't have same speaker coming again. And then the last speaker goes, the proposition reply speaker. That's one, A. Second, here we are looking at 6 minutes of speech, and the reply speech will have 3 minutes, both the sides. POI is going to be same, not allowed in the protected time. So now you have 4 minutes, not the first minute and the last minute. So, and the reply speech will not have POIs. It's just for the main speeches. So you have 4 minutes to ask POIs. Is that clear to 10th and 12th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. If you have any question, happy to take over
Excuse
here.
me.
Yeah.
The third speaker is also giving constructive points, right? And not a rebuttal speech. That's the last speech, the reply speech.
Yes, so reply speech is a conclusion from, so consider this like a summarization of debate from your perspective. That's reply speech. So you leave, so just consider as an Asian parliamentary. Now you comes, you are obviously you are a external, let's suppose you're an external person, you come and hear the debate. Obviously you are biased toward your side, and then you comes and you says, okay, they're done debating, there were 3 point contested. Now the team, whatever side you are, propose this models which seem to be very pragmatic, and that's why we are winning this debate and all. So that's primarily the reply speaker.
Okay, so only summarization, no rebuttal. Rebuttal is still with the third speaker.
So look, when you are summarizing, you're saying all things within that, and before that, everyone would have done the rebuttal. Your third speakers would have that play a constructive role. And a small speech, so you're concluding. What's the most important thing? That leave everything aside. If I'm the adjudicator, if I listen to you, will you make a difference? So you saying team opposition says 3 points, team proposition says 3 points, and I see that out of the 3, the 2-1. So have you seen the adjudicator in the round 2, how they summarize the match, that it was contested on 3 topics? That's what the reply speaker will do, but with the idea that obviously they are biased toward their side. They're mentioning that we have win these contentions.
Okay, got it.
And obviously, look, so what I'm giving is a much more theoretical insight. The better would be to really see some speeches, and let me find if we have some examples, maybe from the ISDL or somewhere, so we can give you much more concrete debates that you can see, and you have better example both with the reply speeches as well as POIs.
I have a question,
Yeah, go on.
but it's not related to the structure. It's
Okay.
it's about, so we're going to get the motion around 4, right? Or when the opening ceremony happens.
We will share the entire exact schedule tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be a few hours prior, where we will do the toss of the coin and the motion. It's the same going to be as round 2.
Okay, thank you.
Should we move forward? I think so. This team already been there. Team Vampire, Delhi versus Haryana. Stay Myra Arav, Haryana Shivansh, Fatima Krisha. And this is team Dragons, Vyas, Varnika, Nikhil, Punjab, Shubham, Adisha, Sadhya.
Kamal, are you using a Google slide right now for this one, this presentation?
Yes.
I just updated the schedule on slide 9. Just have a look. If you think that's all right, then you can flash it. Folks, I just added 3 links also on the deck. Obviously, we'll circulate this PDF, but I really want you to see this. Is it okay, Kamal, if I share for a second? Just enable my rights. Sorry, are there any further questions? Because then I just want to leave you with some expert tips on a few things.
You have the rights.
Okay. I'm assuming there aren't any questions. So I'm just showing you what I want you to see, which I've added on the deck. I want you to definitely look at the speaker roles that we had put. Your adjudicators are keeping this in the backdrop. This is on our Instagram channel. I think it was posted earlier. Did you all guys look at that? The do's and don'ts?
Yes, ma'am.
Lovely. So this is one thing that I do want to make sure that you do that, because that's the only big miss that we saw in these debates, apart from just a few bits on manner. I think you guys have gotten a lot better in terms of not looking as if you're reading off the page. So that's all good. So do look at this. Do look at the YouTube channel. I put this link as well. Some of these master classes were about how to do great rebuttals. So Kamal, either we add a description or we'll pick up the specific ones and circulate it to the group. Third is your initial registration page itself has these YouTube videos on the master classes, the ones that we picked up selectively. So you'll see Calix is doing a master class on, I think, how to do rebuttals, or somebody else is doing it on POIs, right? So just look at these sources well. Yeah, otherwise I think you guys are good to go. Anything else, Kamal? Anything else, team?
No, I guess from my side already the quality of the debate, especially yesterday, was good. But obviously it's a huge scope of improvement. And the more they cohesively work together, it should be like a essay, a good persuasive essay. The 1, 2, 3. It seems like a good essay you are reading. That's how should your speech from your team need to be there. If that's there, it's going to be fantastic match to watch, because this time we are also expecting spectator to be there. So and obviously the finals and quality need to be high, and it will also help you build a case for selecting you for the international tournaments.
Correct. And this time round, what we've done is we've got the knowledge expert coming in. So you will have the CEO of one of the AI companies come in the initial sessions. So Kamal, if you've had a look at the schedule, if it looks fine to you, you can flash it so that they tentatively know the time, because these are high schoolers. We have to be mindful of their time and their calendar.
Makes sense. Let me just share my
They're more
screen.
busy than us in the expectations that the world has of them. Okay. Always.
Makes fair sense. So
So,
we'll do the toss at 5 o'clock. Correct. You join 10 minutes prior, like 4:45, 4:50. We will open the gate. Do the flip. It should be over by 5. Actually, that's the idea. It gives sufficient time to come. 6:30. Everyone need to be there. We will do a bit of announcement, and yeah.
Then you can
First
exit. So after 6:45, you can exit, because then we'll keep the match only from the 7th to 9th. And then your sequence of 10 to 12. So walk into the room when we call you, because obviously sometimes the feedback sessions can be very engaging, and we encourage long feedbacks by adjudicators. We don't want to stymie that at all. And then towards the end, you will have the results and closing. Yep.
I'm sorry, my net was lagging in between. So can you please tell me again what was the speaking time for the first 3 speakers?
Which category you are from?
10 to 12.
It's going to be 6 minutes for the main speech and 3 minutes for the reply speech.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yep. I think we are clear. So with that, we'll wish you a happy Sunday, the rest of it. And yep, see you on the 26th then. Right. But if you have any doubts, anything at all, obviously you know where to ping us.
Yeah, and now it's going to be small group, because there are only 12 students going to finals from your category. So you can very much ask on the group. You can ping me or hello.
If you think, yeah, I told that to the 4th to 6th kids as well. I said, go over what you have. If you think we want to regroup and ask a few doubts, happy to have a session, 15-20 minutes to clarify. Yeah, otherwise I think you guys are looking good to me. Yep. Alrighty. Thank you so much. Good evening and good night, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Keep warm gargles on, please.